NTB, man, 12 and a half years incarcerated, over 20 years as an attorney. I learned a few things. Let's talk. NTB, man, self-control, right? So I was thinking about this topic because I was reflecting on some of the things that I've done since I've been home from serving 12 and a half years in prison. And I remember one of the things that I had to do when I first came home was I had to work, man. I had to work. I had no real income, so I had to work. And one of the jobs that I took was security. You know, I'm a big guy, 6'3", well over 200 pounds, just came home from prison. So nightclubs in Manhattan would look for big brolic guys, you know, who had a little bit of sense about themselves. And they would hire them sometimes, you know, $100 a night, $150 a night. Wasn't that much. But anyway, I got hooked up with that circuit and I started getting gigs. A lot of people liked the way I carried myself and they would hire me for this club, that club. And I worked many of the top nightclubs in New York City, high end and rough and rugged. And one of the high end clubs that I worked at, it was on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. The owner, I won't tell you who he was, but the owner, I mean, his father had a private plane and he flew all around the world with high end politicians and celebrities. And he was the son and he was the heir to this fortune. And he owned this nightclub, high end nightclub. And every night, 3-4 days a week, you know, he liked me. So he would, you know, definitely put me on the security team to work either the door or, you know, the private area where he and his friends and the ladies that he hung out with, they party. So anyway, after being there for a few weeks, I just started noticing something. They would come in, bro, and they would spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Some of the patrons, you know, because his friends, he knew everybody, the who's who. A lot of celebrities came through, people from TV, talk shows. I met a lot of people from the record industry. They would come through. But anyway, a lot of money was being spent there. But anyway, his friends, he had a core group of friends, very, very rich, fancy suits, millionaires, all of them. And they would talk to me. Sometimes I would notice, this is what really got to me. I would notice that sometimes they would be in their section drinking wine and liquor. I started noticing that sometimes they all be in their section. Beautiful women, man, beautiful women. They got everything, bro. Everything that a person you would think that they would need to make them happy, they had it, right? These guys, man, had everything and it didn't cost them nothing. And they had homes in the Hamptons, they had Upper East Side penthouses. These guys were rich. But I started noticing they would always look at me. And sometimes I hear them whispering and I'm like, so, you know me, I'm, you know, fresh out of prison, you know, a few years out, few months out, and I'm starting to go on red alert. Like, what, these dudes scheming on me? They plotting on me? But finally, it started to come out what they would always talk about once they started seeing me week after week. They started asking me questions like, hey, you know, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? I'm okay. Oh, you want to, you know, you want some, you know, they would offer me anything, you know, illicit stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm good. All right, you want some drink? Champagne? No, I'm good. All right, cool. Yo, a lady over here like you. You want to? No, I'm good. I was a total mystery to these guys. Of point of fascination. They could not figure me out. That's what it was, why they kept looking at me, staring at me, talking about me, and then eventually just started asking me, like, what's going on with you? You always seem so jovial. You always seem like you're in a good mood. Like, what's your deal, man? You smoke, you drink, you chase the ladies. I don't see you doing anything. What is it? And that's when it hit me. They had it all, but they weren't really a joyful group of men. High out of their mind, drugs, snorting, taking pills, liquor, stumbling all around the club, cursing people out, jumping on the bar, yelling, womenizing different women every night. And they often appeared very unsatisfied. They were often miserable. I didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't use drugs, wasn't womanizing, had a girlfriend, but wasn't womanizing. They couldn't understand where my joy came from. And when it clicked, I started analyzing and I realized a lot of times, And I wish I had analyzed a little bit deeper and I could have shared it with them, because I didn't really understand it myself. I just saw it. I just came out of jail. I didn't understand why I was so perplexing to these people. Filthy rich young guys, so-called masters of the universe, and they're miserable. And it dawned on me that these guys were chasing the world. They was overindulging. They were overindulging in drugs. They were overindulging in alcohol. They were overindulging in partying. They were overindulging in women. They were overindulging. They had no self-control. And a lot of times what I realized, and I wish I had this understanding of it and pondered it deep enough. I just went home like, these dudes is weird. I would just dismiss them. He's some weirdo. But I realized they were trying to find joy in worldly things, just chasing and chasing and chasing. And that's not where the joy comes in. You find the joy in self-control, not no control. When your moms give you everything, when your dad gives you everything, when no one says no to you, when the world just gives you everything, where's the joy? There is no joy. There is no joy. You have it all. And that's why what I would have said to them is, potentially, what I know now is that you have to have some type of self-control. You have to moderate yourselves and take it one step further. And I don't want to get too deep on this, too mystical. You kind of like have to deprive yourself. You have to deprive yourself of the partying. You have to deprive yourself of all these drugs. You have to deprive yourself of all this liquor. You have to deprive yourself. You have to have self-control. Why? Because when you have self-control, the world goes away from you and you get control of yourself. And so when you do want to indulge with a woman, it's good because you're not doing it 5, 6, 7 times a day. When you do want to have a glass of wine, it's good because you're not drinking $500 bottle of wine 2, 3 times a day. When you do want to have a nice night out, it's good because you're not doing it 5 days a week. You're depriving yourself so you can then enjoy yourself. You have to have some type of self-control. And that's one of the things that they probably saw in me, that I totally had self-control. And my joy was when I did see my lady, it was good. When I did go out to party, it was good. When I did have a nice meal, it was good. Because I wasn't doing it all day, every day. Because after a while, the joy is gone. Anyway, man, the path to joy is through self-control, not overindulgence. Anyway, just wanted to share a thought with y'all. NTB, man. Follow for more.
Wow.